We'll
Okay,
give it a 7.6 out of 10.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Frames of Shame is in the back end of our stuff now. They must have ruined something because I was like on a streak. It was like 3 or 4 in a row.
No, those kids are always screwing around with shit, so I don't blame you.
They're probably better at all this stuff than the rest of us.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Podcast 204. I'm Kerry Kreitz, and I got the Wiseman twins with me, Dexter and Tim. We were told, or I was told on the weekend, that we don't announce who we are anymore, and people listening to the audio podcast have no clue who's talking.
Oh, wow. I mean, we've had a plethora of different hosts over the years. I mean, they must be confused.
And honestly, it's pretty quick. As soon as somebody says something completely off the rails, you assume there's a Tim is there. We're good.
Well, who complained about it? Let's just talk about it.
Oh, nobody complained. They were just saying that they didn't know who was talking when they were listening to the audio version.
Oh, maybe that person just wants to get it. No big deal.
See, there it is. There it is. It's already starting.
Just triggered me, eh? And today's I mean,
come on, man. Let's go.
I actually, honestly, that's maybe bring something like a little bit more serious to the start. I totally forgot it was September 11th today.
Why did you go through so many side quests to get to that initial?
Yeah, I know. I did. I'm back on the train. I'm back on the train. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
September 11th.
It's almost been 25 years. You think about 2 years from now, it'll be 25 years.
That's crazy.
Where were you guys? I was telling Dexter. I told Dexter where I remember where I was when it all happened. But where were you, Kerry?
I was, I believe, at home because I was already graduated by then.
Holy shit.
Were you?
No. Really?
2001? September?
Yeah, he's 20. He was 20, yeah. Yeah, he could have joined the military then. Yeah. I was in grade 9 sewing class.
Well, you were in sewing class.
It was.
It happened in the morning, like before school started, did it not?
100%. Because
it did, but it carried out throughout the day, obviously, right?
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, Mom woke me up first thing in the morning and ran into the room, and I had a TV in my room, and she's like, turn on the TV. One of the Twin Towers got hit. And I was like, holy cow, that's crazy. And then promptly watched the second one slam into it. Like, oh, this is what trauma is.
This is what everybody's worried about.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, a lot of obviously sad people.
Way to start the show off on a downer.
Kevin, that the timing of that comment could not have been worse. Oh, all right. I think
that's comment of the year right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta move on.
Anyways, yes, I remember for a long time we weren't able to watch anything on TV or anything like that because it was just about that.
Yeah,
it was just about
that for weeks. CNN's coverage for the full year. Yeah,
for sure. Anyways,
what do you want to talk about? What's our opening banter here?
Let's talk about our golf league. I mean, we just bitched about behind.
Let's do that.
How many weeks
Tim,
was it?
Who won? 32 weeks.
32 weeks. And you see 2 or 3 of us here being champions, I guess.
Yeah, co-champions.
Co-champions. No big deal. Like, we won. I mean, we won. Technically, we won. Dexter came in second last, I think.
I did come in second last, and I was very happy with that. I was very, very happy with that.
Weren't you tied?
No, I beat him 2 out of 3.
Oh,
it is ranked based on like head to head, so I win.
Fair. Okay, yeah, it is ranked. I was like, but like, does the app really tell you you weren't last?
Oh, I went back and checked our head to head.
So Tim, what are we gonna give as a punishment to Jeremy?
I don't know yet. Maybe we discuss that. I'm probably a little bit more of a. I'll probably be harder on him than you would probably want to be on him, but we'll figure something.
I'm thinking like maybe a nice shirt he could wear at one of the TPC shifts, or.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can find something embarrassing for
I'm
him.
not Adam Weber. I'm not going to sewer his next fantasy.
Well,
Yeah.
basically just solidify like a solid year for yourself. Now, if he faces Ryan in the playoffs for baseball, he just automatically wins. Let's talk about baseball for a second. Regular season is over, and Katie has once again proved that she is horrible at fantasy baseball. Last year, she got Jeremy to draft. Did not work out well. This year, she decided to draft. It did not work out well. Baseball, not her thing.
Baseball's not her thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's not the pitchers we're worried about. Maybe we want to put something on the shirt. So that's between me and Carrie, Katie, and we'll figure it out.
I know I was sitting last most of the season in baseball because I random picked my draft just to prove a point to Tim, and I didn't finish last. So, yikes.
That just makes it worse on Katie. That's terrible.
I played her the last week, and won 8-2. 8-2.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But
what?
You
did not cheat. Interesting.
Yeah. So we've done a few fantasy ones, and right now the only thing that successfully ran, as we were talking in the background, is the baseball. Tim screwed up the fantasy football real bad. I've got to say that I think the golf is worse.
It ran flawlessly. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You're edging a winner. You can't just get right to the end of the season and be like, hold up. Nah, this ain't over. This isn't finishing.
No, we decided it's co-champions. I am commissioner, so I also agree with the co-champion decision.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's good.
Just poor Jeremy. That's all.
Yeah. 8-gamer. Round 1 of the playoffs is done.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Had that announced. Yeah. So we have Ryland playing Brad Glynn now. Tyler McLean playing Steve Zimmerman. Max Beauchamp playing Sylvain Bercier. They really had like a Gatineau-centric draw there. That was weird. Alex Samir placing Tracy Messer. Beat Taylor Michelle 945 to 906. I bet you Taylor's happy about that.
Oh.
And great for Tracy. That's awesome, though.
Yeah. I bet you Taylor. He hasn't answered my email or my e-transfer yet, so we'll see how he's feeling.
I can only imagine the words that have come out of that man's mouth.
Yeah.
There's also another bad beat on the other side too. I'm sure Carol. Yeah.
Sofiane lost to Matt Wallace. John Wilcott played Wes Swolek in the Thunder Bay bracket going on there. Darcy Fiedler shot 883, beating Alex Thompson. And Derek Orrin shot 904, beating Shane Chafe 893. Bet you Shane's happy with that.
Does Shane reply back to you?
No, but he accepted my money.
Yeah, that sounds about right, though.
So Matt Leonard's playing Matt Wallace. Greg DeGrazia is playing Wes Swolek. Eric Villeneuve is playing Darcy Fiedler. And Michaela Sanderson is playing Derek Orrin.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they have till next Wednesday to get those matches in and done, and then off to the quarterfinals.
Awesome.
Yeah, Greg versus Wes. That's another. There's a lot of close proximity people. So
yeah, some of them happen to be like kind of out of the same house, so they just went and played the match against each other, which was
totally fair.
Makes it fun.
Yep. Do you want to talk Pro League? Pro League's coming up. If you haven't sent your stuff in, send it in. Scott Hawka.
So Hawka did. That was a miscommunication between me and Tim.
Scott Hawka.
We just got the last one in.
Nice.
So
yeah.
I love it. I got to see them today. We were organizing them. They list off like, okay, we can do this week, we can't do this week. Reasons why. Bombers. No. Yes, no. No reasons, no nothing. Just here it is. We could play 8 weeks, no explanation.
That one, and we have a form specifically to fill out. And Shane Chafe and Robert Gallagher don't use forms apparently. So
Yeah, they don't know how to fill out a form, so they just
That's
text.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. I just like busting people's balls.
yeah, but I mean, really though, if Holy Roller should have had it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so that's the fun Tim will have trying to schedule an extra 2 teams into the 5PL and get that scheduling out and done with.
yeah, we're gonna work on that right away.
This is for the audience. Like, I'm sure there's 5PL people watching, but do people want to see the same divisions and then we just throw the 2 new teams into random divisions? Like, there's rivalries built already. I know there's some teams that think we should mix the divisions up, but like, man, it's the East and West, like stuff like that. You just can't flip conferences out of nowhere.
I don't think so. I mean,
sometimes, like when there's an expansion in the NHL, it does happen.
Yeah, but the majority of the teams are still the same. Though.
Yeah, exactly. Some 1 or 2 might shift, but
I think people are right now are just kind of a little bit of butthurt that the next gen is always winning on the one side. Maybe they just have to be better, right? I mean that's right. I mean, next
by them you mean the Topla Roses, right?
Actually, I wasn't thinking about it. I know Stacey's gonna text me right now, but that wasn't actually them. I will say that, but I'm not gonna take that back. I think that's the perfect one. Maybe they win. Maybe Rock and Rollers, maybe they get off to Schneider a little bit, right? So
or the Mayhem or all the other teams. That's the thing about these divisions. They can bitch all they want about another team in their division, but all the teams are tough. It just happens to be that Next Gen has been, but they've only won 1 title. It's not like they've won every season. So
yeah, exactly.
And let's be honest. I mean, Cargill. I mean, if the Crushers can't make it, I mean, anybody can make it, right? So
then we rebrand.
Yeah, I mean, the Revengers never rebranded, but half their team quit on them, right? So, I mean,
it was the first successful season. They had to keep the name.
Yeah, obviously, but the players probably didn't like it. So, but I mean, we'll see how they
are. We've announced like the new teams, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute. I don't know that for a fact. Have we?
Yeah, I think so because they already had their Facebook pages and they've already announced that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Okay. So another Quebec team, the Rebels. Do you think this is the year where like Lumberjacks turn it around a little?
Well, I think they need to, or else what do you let a new team in?
Look, every year I'm like Lumberjacks, like they are in my head. They're one of the teams to beat. They are a good team. They have great players on that team. Maybe having another Quebec team form is going to be the motivation to be like, okay, let's go.
I know there's going to be a rivalry there, and absolutely. I think they should be in different divisions, and then if they face each other in the final, great. Or do you think we should throw them in the same division? They could have that.
I mean,
In
all fairness, we've separated the Bonnie Doon ones the best we can, the Sherwood Park ones, and the BC ones. I think we have to separate them, and the Newfoundland one, obviously, the new other one, right? So,
I think it'd be nice that if both of them make playoffs, at least like they have some bragging rights if one doesn't make it, if the other one does. You would hate for them to face off and knock one of them out of the playoffs or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there
multiple ways to look at it.
Looking at the roster, there's lots of changes, right? I mean, a lot of different overhaul. I mean, I know we'll post them later, or you guys will do the segment, but I mean, some teams I think are a lot stronger, and I think some teams are maybe a little bit weaker than they were last year, right? So, the thing is about this thing, people can hop and jump teams and do whatever, and it's going to be interesting this year for sure.
And there's 100% going to be relegation this year, so because there's teams waiting to get in and they want to try out again, so there is no more free rides for teams that have a rough season. Unfortunately, we understand that there is going to be some rough seasons and stuff like that, but you can still get back into the league through relegation. It's not like you're completely out of the league, but there is a chance. So every point matters. Don't be giving away points or giving up on matches, right?
Yeah, I'm going to ask. I don't know how many people or teams are going to be out. I don't know how many people are going to be relegated. I don't. That's up to
I
you
think
guys.
two on each side, I believe, because we're gonna do like an 8. Well, I want to do an 8-team relegation tournament. So
Oh, perfect. Okay. So I mean, if
bottom
you're
two
in
out.
if you're in the Swartz division, obviously, it's only one other team going to be relegated other than the average pros.
Wow. Hey, settle down.
They made some good changes this year.
Man, they actually have like
They do.
I get where they're coming from, the average pros, but now they've
They're not
brought
average
in
anymore.
actual pros, like
Yes.
big players onto their team. So even though the average pros can play, then now they brought that security, almost a security blanket, where they have players that they know are top players. So that should make them that much more competitive, right?
Yeah,
100%. You would hope so, right? So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it all goes.
I can't wait to just start releasing rosters now that people are actually finalized them and all that stuff. So
yeah,
be good.
I think it'd be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So,
with that all being said, we've let our guest sit in the back for a while here. We should bring him in. He's not on a roster, which surprises me in the 5PL, but has come home with a Beef Bowl win. So without any more time wasted, Mr. Trent Connery, how are you doing?
Good. How about yourselves today?
Good.
great.
Thanks for joining us. Congratulations.
No. Thank you.
Awesome.
So Trent, we know you play a lot of the Alberta Cash events and the open qualifiers and open teams and stuff like that. For the people that don't know from across the country, how long have you been bowling competitive 5-pin bowling?
Competitive. I started YBC back in Bantams, actually. So 26, 27 years.
Way awesome.
It's been quite some time.
Yeah. I always remember, like, this is going to be dating us a little bit, but back at the Autumn Open and when it was at Toppler, always running into and playing in that that event. And so we were talking a little bit kind of in the back room before we started. It's been a little while since you've made a cut on the cash circuit.
Yeah, I want to say it was like one of the first years that Autumn moved from Toppler to Paradise was the last time I had made it. So it's been a decade or so, I'd say.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I had no clue either. So where do you want to start? Do we want to start with the Beef Bowl and how you played at it, or do we want to kind of go through your adult career? You choose the path. I know usually we set the timeline and we go through it.
You lead the way there, Carrie.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tim, you can lead the way.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Well, let's maybe give you a little bit of a background, Trent. I know that you played out of Chinook growing up, right?
Yeah.
And you worked there, right, with Rick and whatnot. Well. So you do have a little bit of a background. Did you have any success in? I know you played you challenge, right, and you also played YBC. Did you have any like big success?
No, never really had much in YBC. I think we made it through provincial or made it 2 provincials one time in the seniors. Because back then it was like 3 strong teams. There's Chinook, Toppler, and Mountain View were all very strong teams at the time. So it was kind of tough to make it out of Calgary during the YBC era.
Correct. Yeah. And then obviously you played a lot when you were down in Calgary. Because you recently moved outside, right, to Okotoks?
Yeah, I recently moved outside to Okotoks about 3 years ago.
Right. So you still play Chinook, right? I believe.
I play Toppler now, actually.
Toppler, okay. Toppler, and then you played out of Millennium as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when you're I think you started. Correct me, right? You were also playing the Masters for the longest time down in Calgary on the Wednesday night.
Yes, I was playing Wednesday Night Masters for well over a decade.
Yeah.
So right up until I actually moved.
For those people down there, before the Monday Night Toppler became the biggest league, as in like the best bowlers played out there in scratch, the Wednesday Toppler League in Calgary, Wednesday Chinook Masters League down in Calgary was the biggest one for the longest time. It was spent over 20 lanes. They had like all the stats. If you look back at the Commodore stats and everything else like that, they had that down there. It was the biggest and the best down in Calgary for a long time. But then everybody kind of moved over to Toppler. But so that being said, I know back in, I believe not last year, but the year before, down in the Open, you qualified for your first Open team.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I finished 4th out of Calgary for that year. So
yeah,
it was, first time.
So maybe explain that how maybe that got you some confidence, because you've been around for a while, training. You've always had a lot of talent. You just never were able to break through for that time. You've been close, but not actually make that team. So what did that mean to you?
Oh, it meant a lot. Like, it gave me a huge confidence boost, because sitting the last, I think, 2 or 3 years before that, I was averaging like 246 at the Open qualifying. So it was close, finishing 11th, 12th consistently. And then to finally kind of make that breakthrough to the top 10, or top 9, was just a huge confidence boost to kind of finally pull that off. Mm-hmm. Gave me a lot more confidence to kind of try to go after more of these cash tournaments as well.
Right. Confidence. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that really surprised me that was your first time. I don't know. I guess seeing you at the Autumn Open at all the cash tournaments, I just assumed that you were making Open teams down in Calgary here and there.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was kind of consistently finishing between like 12th and 15th almost every season for the Open qualifying. So close, but not quite.
So if you don't mind me, like for reference, what do you average like in your scratch league?
Averaging 256 at Toppler and 249 at Millennium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That house is, I think, one of the highest averages that house has maybe ever seen.
Yeah, it's a tough house, that's for sure. So, and I believe on your team you had yourself and you had another rookie on your team, right?
Trevor
Watt, which was great to see, because Trevor is another one who hasn't been on and played a whole lot before. So it was nice to see him break through. Obviously, you had the stalwarts. You had Parker Anderson was there. You had Derek Holm. You had Rich, and I forget the 6.
Mark
Miller.
Oh, my bad. Whatever, it's just Mark. YOLO. So anyway, so how was it to play with those 4 players? Because they've been around the Calgary scene for some time.
Oh, it felt great, like to get a chance to finally to play. Where I learned a lot, like nerves at the first day, first ball. It was just praying to keep the ball in the lane.
Yeah,
on the first shot.
It's such a different sort of like energy, a different sort of nervous energy in a team than it is even playing on your own, right? I mean, I'm sure there was a different kind of nervousness this weekend for you playing in your first cut, like you said, in a decade, as opposed to like playing on a team for the Open. It's just nothing is quite like it.
Yeah, the first game of the A side was not good at all. I think I had 7 or 8 headpins that game. It just did not start well. It started like 120 some odd pins down from Jen. It just was not it was kind of part of the game was like, this is not going to be a long day, is it? It's kind of had that feeling at the start.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, well, maybe let's dive into the Beef Bowl, right? So, obviously, I was watching from afar a little bit because I unfortunately wasn't there. But you shot on a re-entry. You came in 20th, and you shot at 20:58. So, what was your kind of thoughts playing your first qualifying shift and then having to play your second one? And
well, it was actually second re-entry is the one where I got in for the third entry into the tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the first 2 went okay. I think I had 20 some odd head pins in each of the first 2 qualifying shifts.
Yeah.
Then ended up making a ball change actually come game 7 of the second shift to some smaller soft rolls and went 280 out. So that kind of gave us a bit of more confidence to move forward. I actually, funny enough, did not have enough cash to actually play a third shift and got sponsored by a buddy of mine
Oh, awesome.
to
Nice.
actually play the third shift. I was originally planning to play it.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that he convinced me to actually go out and throw that third shift.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So how did that work after you won? How much did you want from you?
Yeah, I basically told him when he sponsored me, I'd give him half of whatever profits came out after expenses for hotel, gas, everything came out. So I'm
nice.
giving actually Jeremy $2,000 out of the prize money.
Nice.
He's pretty happy.
So it's pretty good for a weekend of bowling.
That is awesome. Good for you. Good for him too.
Yeah, it's always nice coming home with cash when you maybe somebody else won, and we did that up in Fort St. John the one time.
Yep.
With a $10,000 buy-in, it worked out really great on our end. But so I'm just looking here. Obviously, you finished up strong. You shot a 331 to finish to qualify, right? So that was a big game. So what was your mindset when you're going into that last game?
Yeah, I basically told myself I needed a low 3 to try to get to the 2,000 mark there. Started off that game, I think, with a couple hits that weren't really great. And then Maz rattled off, I think, a 4 or 5 bagger there, where I was fortunate to be bowling with actually Connor on that shift. And it was almost like an open mindset where we're just kind of rooting each other on, trying to push each other forward.
Yeah.
Because he also came out huge in that game.
Yeah, that's kind of how Connor is. That's for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a good bounce back game. It's a center that was playing a little bit on the tougher side. You shoot like 211 in game 7, and now you're like, okay, now I need something here because you shoot 250 that game, then you just need 250 the last one. But the 211, it happens. You throw a couple punches or something in there.
Yeah.
But now you're in a position where you need to throw a good game to get into the cut. So good for you for doing it. It's interesting looking at the stats for game 8 and how many people shot like high 2s and 300s to get in.
Yeah, I thought it would be kind of the opposite because it was a house that was punishing people that were pressing a bit, right? But
yeah,
I like watching people throw well to qualify, not to mess up. Right? So
yeah,
in a way that kind of just it's a good thing, right? So I guess we can talk about the rest of the kind of a little bit. Congratulations to Colin Christensen. Top qualifier, 22:48. If you look at his score, other than the 199, it was very good on there. Marcello played well. My understanding, this house speed of the ball that was required or seemed to work. I mean, Heidi obviously was somebody that I think that was that ball speed just worked great out there.
Yeah.
But let's maybe make note there was a lot of ladies that qualified.
25%.
Yeah, so
8
people
ladies
qualified, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, some people out there that we haven't seen before qualify. Rachel Demon.
Yeah,
I heard she kicked Esther's ass on the B side.
She played great. My first game against her, I shot 270 something, and honestly, I was happy with that. she shot 300, and then I think the next game she shot like 280 or something at me, and that was that. She played great.
Yeah, Kelsey obviously she's a formidable force out there, right? I mean, even though her husband, better bowler, qualified higher. Larissa Long, she qualified. Katie had a really great run that last week, losing out in, I think it was the B semis, right? Or A semis.
B finals.
B final.
Right?
Yeah. So another great event there for her. Jen Schwartz. That looks weird up there, but Jen qualified.
Yeah.
Right.
Shauna
did as well. And
well,
Gino.
Shauna and Dwayne made the cut twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at that center. In all fairness, the center has always been a fair scoring center, and not saying that the scoring was tough. I wasn't there, so I can't say. But you don't think a 2007 is going to qualify?
Especially when Connor told us Or what was on podcast last week, and she says it's going to be $2,500 for a cut.
Well, when the center changes the head pin band, there's bound to be some different scoring than what maybe they were predicting.
I really like the idea though. Like I think I don't mind that idea at all.
So for the people listening, they changed out the head pin base to the old base. They had black bases on the rest of the pins, and they changed the head pin band to the new soft roll red band. So that was the only pin with the red band on it and the old base. So essentially it's sitting at 1/8 of an inch smaller, the pin band itself, and in an effort to keep the head pin down, because they're having their seniors and their slower bowlers jumping the 2 pins and leaving lots of corners. And this was to alleviate that problem. And I would say it worked very well for a slower ball, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And like they talked about, it is definitely a place where you need to throw a good shot and you need to finish a shot. And if you're not finishing a shot, you're in trouble, right? So if you're playing well, you're going to score well. If you're not playing well, you're not going to score well.
Yeah, and I don't want people to take away that it was only for slow bowlers, because there was lots of hard throwers that made the cut too. Brett Mapstone, Derek Holm, Parker Anderson, guys that throw in that high 40s, low 50s, right? So. And Rylan, one-handed.
Yeah.
One-armed, I guess I should say.
Yeah, I mean, Alexander Young's not very he's.
Oh, fast. He was humming the ball too. Yeah,
dude, that guy can play. I just I'm glad he's out there playing. So
yeah,
Colton Roosevelt another one, right? So
we just noticed for our harder throwers, if you weren't in the pocket, you weren't getting away with the high hits that you could see some of the slower shots get away with. So. I think it was better if you could throw slower with lots of roll. You were going to get a lot better breaks.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So maybe let's talk a little bit about the we already talked about that. Maybe talk about the Mulligan's result. I mean,
Mulligan.
It looks like Katie, Tyler, Carrie, and Maddie won. I don't know what Jersey means. Is that one of the cows' names?
That's a cow name. Yep, that's a breed of cattle.
All of them are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
we got Speckle Park because that was Kara's favorite cow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just a little insight into our team. Me and Tyler sat 3-4 hole the whole time, and the girls took us home the whole way. They threw 1 and 2. They were unreal.
Maddie said she played like 10 most of it.
She played 10 the whole time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We had one bad game, a 194. The rest were 260 plus. So it was pretty good.
And you shot a 420? We
did shoot a 420, yep.
And you got prizes for it? And then we shot a 420. And I looked up, I was like, I need to bang out 420. I did. And we got prizes for that.
Look at that. Best part.
Yeah, it was a good time. I got to play with Kara and Cage, and it was supposed to be Curtis, but Curtis had to back out, so had Bradley in there. We had a good time. We just put Cage in charge. Yeah. All right, man. You're captain. You tell us where we're going.
The mulligan system is so cool. I like it. Just like you're on a 4-bagger and somebody screws up, you get to reshoot it. Here we go.
It became hilarious for us. Won a game.
Won a game.
Did any of you guys use the mulligan frame 1 though?
We did not, but we did use it in frame 2 quite a bit.
Yeah. We tried to save it. We decided partway through that we were not going to use a mulligan on 5s on a miss or like a 5 because like right away, because like the amount of times we do it, the next person would go up or they would just mulligan and then punch. And like that, I didn't want a worse outcome. You know what I mean? So like we basically saved it for punching of pins, but then it became hilarious because Kara went up. We had like a 4-bagger going. Kara goes up, rips a left 3-pin. We're like, okay, we're mulligan that one. Goes up, rips a left 3-pin. Like next game goes up, rips the right 3-pin. Okay, we're mulligan that. goes up, rips the right 3-pin again. I'm like, oh my god, it was so funny. It was so funny watching. It was great.
Yeah.
They had a live band through it, and it was awesome. They were great. Yeah.
They were really good. Like that was
really good.
Yeah, that was cool.
Huge.
At first, when I seen them when they were setting up, I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna be really loud on those lanes."
Yeah, it was all right.
That was all right. Yeah.
Yeah. They were playing like Blink to CCR. Like it was all over. It was awesome. Really good.
That's good though. That's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's talk a little bit about the A side. Let's talk about the A side. I think.
Well, do we? Trent had a really bad start. We don't need.
It started rough, but it actually got better as the A side went on, but actually drew some confidence. Because I ended up actually almost fighting my way back into that match too on the A side, which is the most impressive thing, being down 120 after one.
That definitely doesn't help. No. I mean, it looks like you struggled a little bit. I mean, I'm guessing by the black it was completed. So
carry's frozen. Really.
No, the A side was not completed. I ended up not throwing 10 of that. I was on a 365 pace. I was on a 5-bagger coming home, but Jen had locked me out with striking out her 10.
Oh, okay, fair. So there was that. I mean, there's some close matches here if you look at it. Obviously, the Dwayne Colton match. Dwayne beats Colton by 2.
Yeah, and that was a complete game too.
Yeah, Brad that was a close one too by a couple sticks.
8 points. 781 to 773.
Connor versus Dennis. That's another big one there too, right? So, I mean, it's nice to see some close matches there. Going up, I have to say that.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back to that Connor versus Dennis match. Did you look at those
I noticed that. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
the way this went was it was like, what happened? Dennis went up and threw a strike, and Connor went down and shook his hand because he thought that was. I'm pretty sure he thought that was that. Like I was just sitting right there, and there wasn't like a lot of discussion, and then so they shook hands, whatever, and then Connor went in and put like dashes in like for the last 2 balls for Dennis, and he goes, wait. It's like, wait, does he have to finish now? Because like he didn't do the math. He didn't realize it wasn't actually over.
Oh, Jesus.
But he shook his hands, and I think they were okay with it regardless. But I looked up and was like, I don't think he understands what's happening right now.
Yeah, Dennis still had 2 balls in 10, I think.
He did. He had 2 balls left in 10.
I mean, realistically, it's a very high probability he still beats him. But we've seen things in the past.
We've seen some crazy stuff. You just got to play the strategy right. You need 6 points. You aim left on the first one. You aim right on this, or you know, like.
Well, I mean, you go 3-pin at the tie, right? Who wins best 2 or 3 then? Right?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. I mean, I don't think Connor will make that mistake again, hopefully.
Well, I don't know if it was truly a mistake, but it's just weird looking at it. Look at 802 to 808, and then Dennis Zacher moves on, even though he had the lower number.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the other one, it's obviously Curtis versus Tyler.
Yeah. Ty punched, I think, 6 times that game, but Curtis was having a health issue, so he decided to save himself and play up the B side, as there would be hopefully less games on that side. So
the A side, it was a similar kind of like A side's best is 3-game total pinfall. B side's different.
Yes.
Yeah. A race to 2 on the B side.
Okay. So I mean, I guess that is some craziness that happened there. We don't necessarily think that happens all the time. So I have to say, like I said, when I was going back up there, I think Colin played very well this weekend.
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
Connor narrowly lost a lot of the A side there, but it was great seeing Colin play well. So it was nice seeing that.
He was
Brad Wilton going all the way to the semifinal.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
He's been
I know I harp on Kelsey a lot about Brad and all this other stuff, but I've always thought Brad has the game. He always has. And I just don't know. I've always wondered why he hasn't gone longer and like a lot of other events over the years. It's tough, right? It's tough out there.
he had a good WCBT season too.
He always makes cuts,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, I think he has a little bit of bad luck who he plays against sometimes. But his ball, when he gets that roll on it, it scores anywhere. And if you're the way you're talking about, like, I can see him playing very well there. So
Absolutely, 100%.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, the Gregs play well. Dwayne's, normal up there. Great to see Gino kind of make a little bit of a run.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Gino do
Yeah,
that
Gino
in a
went
while.
up both sides and then went bang bang, but he was playing really good.
I mean, again, if you're talking about a girly ball, he hits that thing right there perfectly. So, no. I love Gino, so it was great to see that aspect. But it seemed like a common thing, Tyler making the final. So, somebody has to beat him, right? I guess that was Trent. But
It was Trent this time.
yeah. All right. So maybe Trent, maybe talk about your B side here because it looks like you're a little bit better this time. Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I started off with Heidi on the first match there, and actually both matches, it got that one in 2. Both ones came down to 10. Whereas in the first game, we were tied going to 10. My match just, I think it went like strike left spare to kind of edge her out in the first match. And then the second game, I think it was like a 7-pin lead or 9-pin lead going to 10. And I just ended up, she threw first that 10. I just happened to match exactly what she had done to edge that one out.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's a good way to start too.
Just
Just
nail
get your
biters.
Yeah, exactly. Get your feet wet with like the really close matches, and then you get into the next round. That kind of gives you good confidence and good rhythm going into the next ones for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of nerves going through that frame 10 there for both of those games. It got to that, built a little bit of confidence up there. And then Curtis was the most interesting match out of the 3, out of all of them. Because that one was crazy where Curtis took the first match. I don't remember what the scores were. And then I edged him out like 247 to 230 something in the second one, where I had 4 headpin 247 game to I think it is like 5 headpin 230 something. So we were both just kind of punching and neither one wanted to win it. The third game, I thought I was gone. I thought the Curtis was moving on. I thought that my turn was done. Because I went up there, I think I had like a 5 or 7 pin lead. It was less than 10 pin lead going to 10 of that game. I threw the first strike in 10, and then I punched ball 2, and I thought my tournament was done at that point there.
Yeah, and Curtis did the exact same thing too, right? He threw the first strike and then punched.
He just needed a 30 count, and then he punched ball 2 as well, which meant he had to spare the head pin in order to get me. So it basically made it important of just pinning early game, just getting every pin you could just to kind of grind up those scores.
Yeah, it's massive. It is massive, especially when you're in a house that's going to be a bit of a grinding house. You make sure of all your pins.
And then of course, you play Johnstone.
Yeah, Johnstone, the next one, which is another one that came down right down to 10 there. I think the first game, I think I beat him 201 to 200. Where he threw 10 first, so I knew what I needed. Threw my first ball in 10, threw a left. It was like, okay, now I need to make this spare or else the game's over. Managed to make the spare. And it's like, okay, so 5 for the win, 3 points, 3 pin I lose. So it's like, just don't punch a 3 pin, don't punch a 3 pin. I let go of the ball. It's like, oh no. And it just caught the deuce all the way by.
Oh man.
It was just such a feeling, but after that ball there, like the confidence just went up. It's like, okay, I just got away with a break here and just didn't look back after that point.
Yeah.
After just 2 very close calls.
That's awesome. Was your second game better?
Yeah, the second game was, I think, a lot better. I don't recall exactly what the score was on the second game, but it was significantly better than the first game was.
Less dramatic?
Far less dramatic. I want to say we shook after like 8 or 9 of that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it went significantly better than that first game did.
And then you moved on to Mike Hall.
Mike Hall, yeah. Which I threw really well against Mike there. I think I went like 270, 260 or something back to back.
Awesome.
So that was probably one of my better sets I threw.
Yeah, because he was playing fairly well too. But
yeah, he was playing well, but unfortunately, he was kind of struggling a bit during that match where he was struggling to kind of find his line, unfortunately.
And then obviously you played Katie, right?
Yeah, then played Katie. I don't even remember how the first game with Katie went, or how close, or how.
I think they were both kind of around the same. Like you're a bit ahead, kind of the whole time. You were throwing strikes on both lanes, where she would strike on one lane, then she would chop or punch on the other lane.
Yeah, and then I know the second game against Katie, I actually found, I think it was like a 4 or 5 bagger mid game there for that one there. So I actually managed to find a rhythm and found the side that wasn't just hit the middle, make the spare, hit the middle, make the spare.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of wish they would put the scores in, even for the B side.
Yeah, that would
be
maybe something we'll look into.
It's all a bit of a blur, that entire B side.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
mean, I think TPC. I think we just go 1-2 or 2-0 or whatever. That's something Blair can work in. But at what point, when you're running up the B side, did you think maybe today's the day?
It's honestly, it was actually after the match against Mark, where it got away a couple there. Then just I felt like I could probably run the rest of the side here with the way I'm feeling. I'm throwing it out like I was about 90% middle of my first ball there for most of the day, making most of my spares. So it's like I can grind out any game here. I feel like I grind out to like a 250, 260 range, no matter how many strikes might come.
Yeah, totally fair.
And with obviously this being your first cash tournament in this format, qualifying, right? Because obviously Autumn runs a little bit differently. How did you handle the break? Because obviously you play the 8th, and then you play the B, and then you play the 8, and you play the B.
Yeah.
And you have somebody like Gina who's running up both sides. It makes it really tough, right? Because you have the break. So how did you handle that?
Yeah, I just try to take it easy, like just kind of wandered, grab some food, went outside a few times just for a walk, and just try to keep the body loose rather than just sitting there and letting everything stiffen up. It was nice once the 8s, I think it was the 8s where they went simultaneously started, where you're just kind of go, which was really nice.
Yeah, you could find a rhythm and keep it. Yeah,
once they got down to the 4s on each side.
Yeah. I had about a 45-minute break, I think, before the match with Tyler.
Yeah.
Just because we happened to end, myself and Katie ended in 2 versus them playing the full 3.
Yeah. And then obviously going into the finals of the tournament against Tyler, he was higher seeded, so it goes to the A side. So it was a total pinfall match. And not saying it, but like bowling's not a super exciting sport anyways. But it was a bit of a snooze fest. It didn't seem like you guys were you ran out of strikes.
We were both hitting middle a lot, both making spares, but that was about all that was happening there. It was just turned into who was grinding a little bit better on the day.
Yeah, for sure. Because you guys were getting every hit possible. I think you're spelling stuff out, but making the spares was big. And Ty ran into a few more head pins, and you kind of took away the pinfall from him slowly and steadily. It was fitting for that style of play, I think, because the way the pinfall was for the whole tournament, there was some big scores, but a lot of like grindy games, right? So the final to end up that way, I think, was kind of fitting.
I mean, I will say Tyler should have got a lottery ticket for $649. And you know Trent was going to win when he has a 69 in his score. So I mean, I'm just saying, it was just meant to be.
I think I was it was like 666 up there for my score. I was like, what?
Yeah. You got to get the extra 30 points to make it look a little better. Yeah. So, yeah. So I mean, absolutely incredible. I mean, 166 entries they had there. It basically middle of summer. I mean, we can say that in a remote location, Alberta, where it's not as accessible to go to, like is this Edmonton or Calgary. I mean, it's probably no different than going to Red Deer for the most part.
Yeah.
They did fantastic, right? Hats off
awesome.
to Kara and to Curtis. There's his name,
Connor and all their committee.
And their committee for doing
it was fantastically run, and the consolation as well was.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you stuck around and saw any of that, but that was fantastic to watch.
I haven't seen that many people stick around for consolation.
Let's talk about that.
Tons, but I mean, like people that didn't even played in consolation. Like Jesse goes up, and goes, "Can I play?" Sure.
I think Derek played consolation as well.
Derek Holm was playing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I love it. It was awesome. It was It was great to see. There was I can't say nothing but like great things about the event. Between live music twice, the food was phenomenal all weekend. Like the food was so good. Just the whole vibe, like it's just everything about it is like it's a party and a bowling tournament, and it's just the like kind of a fun level that I don't remember having since probably Scottsdale. Like really, like I think all the other tournaments are great and they're super fun, but like this one is designed to be fun as well, and it was awesome. No, I did not ride a cow. I did not ride a cow, and I had someone like force me into promising a cow ride like a month ago, and she never brought it up, and neither did I. So
probably for the best. Just ask Brad who got near a cow.
Brad wasn't even riding it. He was just in the pen.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Cello try to ride one a whole bunch of times, and it didn't really like it much, but it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing event. Like they put the effort in. They had a lane breakdown during the playoffs on Sunday, but even with that lane breakdown, you didn't notice it. They made it work. They got the tournament running and finished it and all that great stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to being there for the Open Provincials. I mean, obviously, it's going to be end of April, so I'm sure they're going to run a first-class event for that too.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. It was 100 unique bowlers, so it's not like it's a 30 some less than like the big events, right? Like our larger events only get like 135 unique bowlers, so they're doing really good. Like you said, in the middle of summer,
and like people that are worried about it, you go down there. There's tons of space. There's space everywhere. You never feel crowded. The lounge is great. You can go play 10-pin. It's the one event where it's great to bring kids. Like if you have kids, bring them because you can just go throw them in the ball pit and forget about them. Like,
no, maybe you shouldn't be suggesting that.
Yeah, I have nothing but great things to say about the event. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Congrats to them again.
Absolutely. Back by popular request. Thanks for the reminder, Ryan. That's how Tim felt not being in Medicine Hat this weekend.
I was actually okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was.
Yeah, it's bowling in the middle of summer. I get it.
You know what? I found so when we used to go to Scottsdale, I think that was the most fun we've ever had. It was still warm outside. It was nice to travel. And I remember Kerry saying, "Oh, it's always ball season. Why don't I want to go?" Right? And he said, "I refuse to do that." And then he goes to this one, and I go to a ball tournament. It's funny how life goes, right? So
it's flipped.
It is, but you know what? It was a great weekend summer wise. It's put the trailer away, but it was.
That's another thing I could say. It was 30 degrees outside, and it was not inside. Inside, it was probably like
chilly.
20. Like it was, it was perfect, cold in there. And I'm like, oh my god! Like, so you never have to worry about that. The hotel is in the parking lot,
and the approaches, honestly, it would probably be just fine because you don't want to have like as soon as you get it sucks, and it's nothing that they can do about it. But when you have a center with so many people in a colder environment outside, it just makes things mucky downstairs. Like Paradise. Remember that one year when we walked down Paradise and all of a sudden, boom, you can feel the heat. It's just gonna happen. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Panorama didn't have that issue. It was a little chilly in there if you're a spectator, but for the rest of it was unreal.
Yeah.
That's good.
So Trent, what's next on your schedule?
Just waiting for autumn, I guess, in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Awesome.
Are you gonna sign up for TPC?
Yeah, that's November. That's first week of November, I think, or
November
first weekend?
7th to 10th. Yeah, first
7th to 10th,
Thursday.
Yeah, we'll
Good.
definitely be coming out there for that one as well.
Awesome.
Well, we know you have the money too and the confidence, so if you don't show up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's good. So other than the cash tournaments, what are your goals for this year then?
I want to try to actually push for like a 260 average this year, and then want to make the open team again. Want to try to get back onto that, because finished just outside last year. Was a bit of a disappointing finish to the last 3 games. I think I threw something like 14 headpin over the last 3 games of qualifying to kind of punch my way off of a team.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a disappointing finish, but want to try to get back onto it this year.
Yeah, the year after your first year is always tougher to make because you want it so bad, and then you start having those things happen. But
start squeezing a little bit too hard and just trying to
Exactly.
force something that's not there.
So this year will be better for you. That's for sure. Yeah, especially with the way you're playing.
Yeah, you're a big name now, right? So people better watch out for you.
That's right. Absolutely.
If only we could run those little side events that we used to run that you could maybe purchase a person.
The private events?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Those ones.
The
Yeah,
private
Those
event?
were fun.
I mean,
those things.
Showgirls, Eden, all those places you can still do that.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, why can't we be out there?
Ah,
The
there
French-
we go. There's usually by song. But anyways, that's a different story, right? So
Yeah, so that's it for this podcast. Thanks very much, Trent, for coming on, and congrats again on your win.
It's
Always
awesome.
always amazing to win an event, let alone a cash event of that caliber. That is well done. You defeated some pretty big names to get to there, and defeated probably the biggest name in bowling right at the moment in the final. So
Yeah. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Hang that. Where's the buckle?
It's in my bowling bag actually upstairs.
what?
Keeping it with me. Bring it with you to
good luck,
Lanes.
Trent.
That thing is super cool. Honestly, man, super proud of you. It's such a tough thing to do. No one could ever take it away from you. So, congratulations.
Definitely, the title is definitely worth more to me than the cash prize. That's
For
something
sure.
that definitely is.
Yeah.
No one could take that away.
Yeah.
That's right.
Most of us, like, I know we've been on the tour for quite a while now, but like even at the beginning of it, it was more about the title than it was the money, and I think it still holds true. It's more about the titles.
I don't think you think about the money if you're going deep in a run. It's a bonus thing, right? So
Yeah, I was just thinking about like just get to the next game, just go for the win.
yeah. Now and now you have a buckle, so you can find some buckle bunnies. So we're good.
Okay.
Did Riley get one from last year, or is that something they just did for this year?
No, he did
Okay.
last year too.
Okay.
That one too, yeah.
That is a 5-pin after dark thing, Tim. There's children that watch our show. Ugh. Jeez. Ladies podcast next week, I believe. Correct? 3rd week of the
That makes sense. Yeah.
of the month.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you won't see us for another couple of weeks, but congrats again, Trent, and everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.